If you can't stand the heat, you better get out of this kitchen. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the brand new season of the hit FX series, The Bear. With the return of this series, it's honestly unbelievable how a show can remain this consistently good with each and every installment, and this season has not disappointed one bit. Picking up right where we left off, this season follows the story of Calm as he continues making the bear even greater with his non-negotiables and trying to get that Michelin star. That's essentially the underlying premise of the whole season, but there's so much more going on with that if you've been watching The Bear before. It's a series that's going to touch on some origin stories as well as dealing with grief and depression as always, as well as trying to be a better person and to strive for greatness. Now that we've got the story over, let's get into the season as a whole because I have been so excited to get back into Calm's kitchen once again. As we started off with the first episode, it was honestly an episode like no other. This was something that communicated so much with so little, barely needing much dialogue to get things across. This was a perfect start to the season and set the tone incredibly, and honestly, I don't think I've seen a better opener to a season before. And as the episode progressed, it just kept getting better and better, but of course being more intense in the process. Keeping up with its predecessors, there is some beautiful storytelling here that will keep you hooked on every episode. And what makes this series great is the conversations. Now this is credit to both the writers and the actors themselves, but the dialogue and the performances honestly feel so natural that you feel like you're overhearing a conversation in a coffee shop or something. Everything about this show has always felt so real, and this third season is no exception. It honestly feels like you are drawn into this and you're part of the action, and this is real things happening in real time because of the naturality of things. Your emotions are going to be tugged, your hearts are going to be full, and you can't stop watching this series, which brings me up to my next point. Now, I've seen a lot of opinions saying that this show should have followed the previous formula of coming out on a weekly basis rather than dropping all 10 episodes at once. And while I do agree to a certain aspect of things, I think that also boils down to the way that you watch it. This is definitely not a show to binge watch. It is intense and incredibly heavy, and if you're not ready for it, it might have some devastating effects. So the fact that it came out at one shot is one way of doing things, but it's up to the viewer to watch it at a leisurely pace and not binge watch the whole thing. This is not the way to watch this series. The one thing about The Bear that you must know if you haven't seen it before, it is incredibly difficult to watch at times because it is so heartbreaking and intense. And that intensity can honestly be too much for people, which I agree. But if you keep going, this is going to be a series that you're going to be hooked on and cannot believe how good writing is going to be on a TV show. This is honestly such a love letter to chefs. They've even brought actual renowned chefs into the show, and this season does not disappoint with its cameos. And on top of that, Jeremy Allen White genuinely studied culinary arts to perfect everything that he's doing. Which again brings back my point of the reality of things, because this show is so accurate in so many ways, you could not be more perfect in a series about cooking. At the end of the day, The Bear Season 3 is going to divide a lot of fans and newcomers alike because of the way that it's structured. But honestly, if you give this series a chance, you are going to be blessed with such perfect script writing and such beautiful stories. So do yourself a favor, Season 3 of The Bear is now streaming on Disney Plus Hotstar. Go and catch it, but be warned, like I said, it is intense, it is heavy. If you haven't seen this series, go check it out and let me know your comments down below. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and subscribe to those channels for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I am Nick Dorian, and as always, keep watching the movies.